Hey y'all. So man, there has been so much going on this week. First of all, I bit my tongue like the day that everything right after I left that last video, I bit my tongue so hard. I could not talk or swallow for like 5 days. It was crazy because I really wanted to comment and I couldn't. And it finally healed. But now everything seems to have blown over. So there's really not that much to say. Figures, right? But oh my God. First of all, somebody shared my video, which has never happened. They share Bella's videos all the time, but my videos don't get shared because I do so much waffling. Like, who's going to sit and say, oh, you have to listen to this? And then the person would start to listen and go, are you crazy? That's like way too much rambling. And I get that. But somebody shared my video and it popped up on Reddit somehow. I don't know how I even found it. And I was like, a couple of people liked it, which was cool. But a couple of people were like, I didn't like her video because she was being passive aggressive and trying to, I don't remember if they said I was trying to start something. And I was just like, oh, you can't even have good intentions these days because everybody thinks everything you do is sus. I mean, not everyone, because there are some people that are just so sweet that you know that they have good intentions. But when there's the least bit questionable what a person's motives are, everybody sides on the side of, oh, they're just looking for attention, or they're just evil, or they're sneaky or shady or whatever. And it's just like, oh my God, it's just so pointless almost to leave any rants anymore. But I still do it because it makes me feel better. So I really, but I'm just here to tell you that I really didn't have any idea when I left my video last week. I had no idea that there had, like, I thought there was just some snark going on and it was just like starting to become a problem through a couple of creators. But I didn't think it was anything really serious. I mean, not enough for KCL to take her dang channel down. I mean, I couldn't believe that. But then on the other hand, I think she needed to, because I think that, it's a funny thing about her channel, and this is not even to talk, snark about her, but it's just interesting. Like, well, her in particular, I thought her channel, in the beginning, I thought she was, really sweet and sometimes a little boring, to be honest. Like all that flower talk and things like that, it just kind of bored me. But every now and again, she just, would impart pretty good tidbits about other people, how to deal with this or that. And, I was kind of buying into that victim advocate thing, but goodness, after all that I've read, I don't really think that she's a victim advocate. I think she's an advocate for herself, which really is okay. I mean, we all should advocate for ourselves, but I don't think you should present yourself as this bleeding heart or someone that really cares and then all of a sudden just reveal a part of your personality that to some people is just so toxic that you wind up creating a real problem for yourself. And that's what I think she did. And it was weird because when I saw her leave that first video where she was like, I'm taking my channel, I'm not taking any comments, I'm gonna take a break and this and that, and she was like kind of crying and stuff, and I was like, wow, she's wounded. And I thought, the best thing she could do if she was feeling that affected by all the negative comments and some of the hate, I guess, that she was getting, the best thing she could have done was to maybe take a break and not bombard the airwaves with her coffee and her garden and, all of that. Because the thing with her is, in between all that loveliness, there was a lot of darkness, and it was just very bizarre. And so I think that everybody has the ability to be really sweet or really dark. I mean, I don't think anybody is any one way, But I think for her, she just needed to reel that part of her personality back in, because she had kind of, let it loose and ran with it. And that was a mistake, in my opinion, because I don't think the people that she vented at, like that Airbnb lady I mentioned like 3 weeks ago, how uncool that was. I even left a message on her channel when she had, said that her husband pointed out that she better take some pictures and make sure that, the lady doesn't blame her for any damage from the hurricane. And I was thinking, damn, that's, defensive. But, I mean, it's probably a good idea. But when she sent the pictures, what did she put in the subject? Bitch, I don't play. And I thought, wow, that's confrontational and almost threatening. So I just kind of felt that by her dishing out so much negativity and hostility, that probably the best thing for her would be to just, lay low a little bit and then maybe come back in the chats, the lives, friendly, and turn over kind of like a new leaf, which, it's never too late to do that. But most importantly, I thought an apology was in order, because she was on the airwaves just blaming Patty, mainly Patty and Patty's minions. And that was just so wrong, because it was her fault, I mean, yeah, maybe people reacted or overreacted to some of the comments, but truthfully, I read a lot of them and I kind of thought they were spot on. So I don't know, but I just did think that she needed to regroup and maybe watch some of her earlier videos and kind of see what people were responding to, and how she didn't have that snark and that, I don't know why I keep saying snark, there must be 50 better words, but she didn't have that initially, and it was just, she was kind of lovely. But then before all the snark, I just started seeing her on every channel, and I was just like, goodness gracious, I couldn't escape her. She was on STS and Society page, and she was at that that dinner or meet and greet, and she kind of seemed like she was trying to take that over, and she just kept talking about herself and her friendships with all these Dan Markel players. And I don't know, in just a few weeks, she just really kind of spiraled, in my opinion. So anyway, I thought she could still reel that in. If she was feeling that bad, she might just regroup and maybe make a public apology, which wouldn't have been bad. But then again, the way people are today, when you apologize, they just take it, they pick it apart, and they find fault with that too. So sometimes once you screw up, there's really no way to come back at time, But anyway, so I did see a couple of her videos since then, and she seems to have really recovered already. So that's kind of weird, because to me, if I was wounded, I don't know. I don't want to judge, but I'm just, so that's that, it looks like it's going to fix itself or whatever. But I just wanted to make a comment that I couldn't believe how, it just seemed to happen so quick. But then again, maybe because there was really nothing going on. But then again, it was really uncool. Oh, I know what it was. So I had left her, after she left all that rant about the bed and breakfast, and she started that email to the lady with, bitch, I don't play. I put a comment and I said, dang. I said, it's not the kind of, commentary I expect when I turn on the heart space. Bitch, I don't play. And then I was like, maybe the dark heart space or something like that. But after a couple of hours, I was just, you know what, I don't like to leave negative comments. So I took it down, because I was like, do I need this crazy lady as an enemy? No, I don't like enemies. I don't have many, believe it or not. So I just kind of, forgot about her. You never know it from the rant I just went on. But I mean, it was pretty weird to me, the whole thing, just really bizarre. I was amazed at how many people genuinely felt the way I did, because I never feel like people. The majority of people, I am usually 5,000 miles apart from. I don't think like other people. When I try to find a common ground, I might find one little thing to agree on, but then all of a sudden, totally at odds again. It's just how my brain works. It's very, I don't know. Let me put it this way. I really love talking, being by myself, because the few times that I try to interject with people, interact, whatever, I just, I don't know, it just never ends well. So I always try to keep to myself. I mean, I try to be friendly, definitely, and I try to, be engaged, but I'm not one to email anybody or answer. Well, the truth of the matter is, email, since I've had email 15 years, Gmail now, I can't figure that crap out. I mean, I'll get an email and then I'll try to find it and I can't ever. And the way that email, and I've tried to change my thing to conversation view or another kind of view, I don't know, so that I could find emails. But the only way I can ever find an email is if somebody writes me something and I'm like, oh, this is an important email. When I send something back to them, I change the subject, because by changing the subject, it makes a new line for the email. So that's how I handle it. So I don't email people just because I can't. I'm a noob. No, not a noob, but it's kind of new. I'm just spastic when it comes to email, so I don't really mess with that. But what was else I was gonna say? So okay, and then and Roberta, I just got to give her a shout out, because I only spent an hour, because I didn't even know she was on last night. But I went back and I watched the rest of the show today. But she had a 3-hour show the other day. It was called, I don't know what the title of it was. It was with Rosie O'Donnell, and oh my goodness, Roberta was in rare form. I mean, she's usually pretty funny and snarky, but Rosie just gave so much material, and we just really had a lot of fun. I really liked her doing the Menendez case, because it's so far out there, and she's, in this particular instance, I agree 1,000% with every point she makes. And like I said, I don't usually find myself that like-minded with anybody, so I really enjoyed that show, and if she continues to cover it, it'll be great. And then Lawyer Lee is, gone all the way to Indiana, and she's going to be, I don't know, I guess this is an update on channel creators, content creators, because that's where it seems to be going. But anyway, see, I'm making up for lost time, because I couldn't talk when I bit my tongue. Oh, it was so horrible. But anyway, so then Lawyer Lee is on her way to Delphi, Indiana trial. And I wish I were more excited about that, because I love, love, love Lawyer Lee. I think she not only is so cute and so ditzy, but yet so smart. And she's gotten so much better at running her channel, and she doesn't interrupt herself every second to say thank you, which really drove me crazy. But as I've ranted before, I understand that she was just so humbled and thankful that she didn't want to leave anyone out. But she's gotten much more structured in how she handles that, and her show is so enjoyable. Like I said, I wish. And another thing I really like about Lawyer Lee's show is her chats. Everyone is so nice. There's no nothing. I mean, her mods are great. Mama Pink is great, and Marlon, but I don't know his last name, and even if I did, I don't think I could pronounce it. But her channel is just so pleasant to be on. And let's see. Oh, and then I was on Lawyer and I saw somebody in the comments made such a great suggestion. I would love, love, love to see that happen. She was saying that his dad, Papa Tragos, should play Boston Legal and do a commentary on each episode, which I think would make such an amazing channel. But really, I don't know how busy he is, so he might have to wait till he retires to do that. But imagine how great that would be, just watching a lawyer break down a lawyer show every day, a different episode, or a couple times a week. I think that'd be an amazing channel. So hopefully when he retires, someone will put the bug in his ear to do that. Um, so the other thing is the Delphi trial. I wish that she was covering something else because I don't really care for, but she seems really invested in it. I just can't get into it. I don't know. First of all, I don't really like trials about murdered children, so that's hard because that stuff stays with me. Even after I've done watching for the day or whatever, I just have gloom on my brain, and it makes me look at people so different that I try to stay away from murdering children. I mean, not me murdering them, but watching about murdered children. But yeah, and then Patty's Playhouse this whole week was so good because she's been covering the Melody Ferris case, and that has been really fun because the chats again, everybody's really nice. Like the worst chat I ever was in, well, aside from the Karen Reed, I had to shut that chat down. I never watched the chats after the first couple of days because Debbie Gibby had told me, it's a lot more pleasant if you close the chat, and man, was she right. So I enjoyed the trial, but the first couple of days, that chat was, I mean, those people are insane. I don't know, I don't want to go on a Karen Reed rant, but man, it's not just Karen Reed. When I first saw Karen Reed supporters, and I was like, this is the new deal. This is not going to stop when Karen Reed's case is finished or whatever. I'm like, every case going forward is going to be this divisive because people love to argue and people love to talk about conspiracy and corruption. And now that what is that expression? The something has been unleashed. Hell has been unleashed, I guess. That's all it's going to be going forward, and I'm seeing it everywhere already. With the Ashley Benefield trial was pretty divisive, and the Menendez now, and well, I don't know if there's been that many, but I'm not saying it's going to happen with every single trial. But the second that there's a chance for there to be two opposing sides, they're not just going to be opposing; they're going to be like camps, and support groups, and it's going to be pretty crazy until what I think is going to solve it is I think they're going to just start pulling cameras out of the courtroom, and that's, normally I would say that's terrible, but on the other hand, I don't know that it'd be so bad because trials are not what they once were. It looks to me like because defense lawyers have gotten so good at finding loopholes and finding reasons to keep really incriminating evidence out, and they're able to cite, like once that starts happening where you're able to keep evidence out and you make a precedent, a legal precedent, whatever, then people keep referring to that case, and before you know it, if you watch a trial these days, so much evidence is left out, and it's almost boring, and you almost don't find anything out. Oh, sorry, I didn't even notice my air conditioner was on, so you probably didn't hear half of what I said, but maybe you should consider yourself lucky. Just kidding. But anyway, so, so I just, noticed that people are so divided on everything, and it's just cuckoo. But the Melody Ferris case looks to be a good one. Been enjoying that a lot. And let me think if there's anything else. STS is always good, in my opinion. I mean, Joel can get on your nerves, but I like him because he's very self-effacing. Anybody that can find fault with themselves, I'm that way too. I tend to put myself down before anybody else can, but it's not, for that reason, but it's just I really recognize the shortcomings that I have, and I think Joel sees his own, and so I find him enjoyable to watch because he doesn't hold himself out like this amazing newsman, and he's not on an ego trip from what I could tell, so I always enjoy him, and I think that he really multitasks well for the most part. Of course, COE does a lot of she's his wingman. So she does a great job. But I mean, he's able to. I would have to say most of the time when I'm watching a show and he has certain guests on and I'm thinking, oh, you should ask them this or that, I don't write it because it just pops into my head. And before I even really have the full thought, he's asking the questions. You know, he's a good interviewer, really good. So I don't know that, but I thought he said that, oh yeah, I guess Sarah Boone's Child might be starting and I think he might be streaming that. So that might be good. But I don't know. That's a hard one, I mean, to watch because what she did was, I don't know. And I hate to see when people are so blatantly guilty be able to try to wiggle out of things. And it's hard to witness because society, don't get me started. Anyway, so that's about it. And also wanted to give a shout out to Bella because she has been especially cute today. It was Sunday and I was able to, I uploaded like 6 videos of her. Well, not videos, shorts. So if you want to visit her, she would love for you to do that. And that's pretty much it. So hope everybody had a good weekend and have a good upcoming week. Thanks for listening, y'all. Bye.